are in the ring. We see a mangled ladder. We see people's hair. We've seen it all here tonight. Evolution Night 2, 2007, one of the most brutal shows in the history of explosive pro wrestling. My name's Lukey, reporting for EPWPerth.com, and I got to tell you about the events that unfolded tonight, because if you weren't here, you missed out on one hell of a night. Let's start with the EPW Tag Team titles on the line. They were vacated on Evolution Night 1. Night 2, they were on the line. It was the Bad Boys of Australian Wrestling, Nate Dooley and David Storm, up against the Fighting Hellfish. I'm talking, of course, FN Carnage and Chris J. Lazarus. Now, this match was absolutely brutal. From the get-go, these guys beat the hell out of each other all over the building. From the bar, to the roller doors, to the wooden doors, to the damn merchandise table. They held nothing back. A beautiful moment as the Fighting Hellfish had their arms raised in victory and the gold draped around their waist, and they were proclaimed the new EPW Tag Team Champions. Then in action up next, we had a former tag team, two friends. I'm talking Chris Weiss and Devlin Reeves, two very gifted wrestlers, two wrestlers that are always on the rise in EPW. But only one man could walk away the winner. Now these two, they really both wanted the victory so badly, but Devlin Reeves, he was willing to go that extra step further, and he grabbed onto the rope and scored a victory from his good friend, Chris Weiss. Next up was the European Union. Of course, I'm talking about Johnny Wimbledon, The Don, and Marcus Pitsanopoulos. They were up against the team of Jamie Jura and, well, his two rookies, Rusty Evans and Dan the Beast Moore. Now, Dan Moore, you're thinking, who the hell is that guy? Well, so am I. No, I know who he is. He was the referee who stuck his nose in the European Union's business, and well, they took exception to. Dan Moore stepped in the ring for the very first time as a competitor tonight, not a referee, and helped his team go to victory. Not just that, he scored a pinfall over the Don. A very impressive debut showing for this rookie, and Jamie Jura's team was victorious. Then I got to talk about one of the biggest matches that EPW's seen. Mikey Nichols, Damian Slater. Now what you don't know is this was Mikey Nichols' very last match here in Explosive Pro Wrestling. He's heading to the United States to further his wrestling career, and he had one last hurrah, a huge match with South Australia's own Damian Slater.
Squishy!
This was back and forth. So many occasions these men had the match in their grasp, but it was Damian Slater who walked away with the victory.
1, 2, 3,
But that wouldn't dampen Mikey's spirits, as he got one of the biggest standing ovations I've ever witnessed. Every single one of these fans showing their respect.
is that every single one of you has a part in the superhero that I am today. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. Before the last cell, before the last page of the piece of the comedy book, it's not going to say the end in fancy letters. What it's going to say is to be continued.
Brad West coming out. He looked like he'd turned over a new leaf. He was apologising to Jack Burbank. He was even polite to me. I thought we'd sing a new Brad West.
And I want this to be over so I can concentrate on my wrestling career.
But then he sucker punched Jack Burbank, knocked him down, was handed some scissors by his bodyguard, and well, let's just say this is the remnants of what used to be Jack Burbank's long flowing locks. They are no more. They pulled out a shaver. They took a few stripes out. I gotta tell you though, he's gonna be one angry man, and seeing as he's on the board of the directors, Red West future ain't looking too bright at this point in time. Then it was the EPW Invitational Tournament on the line. That trophy up for grabs as Spike Steele and Shane Hayes stepped in the ring. Both these men have come so close before to winning this title and getting that guaranteed #1 contender spot for the EPW Championship. And this match was back and forth, so many brutal exchanges. It was Shane Hayes who came out the better of the exchange, just kicking Spike Steele at the post, having his arm raised in victory, pushing that trophy above his head and stepping one step closer to becoming the EPW champion. Another #1 contender spot was on the line after that. The tag team titles #1 contender spot. Now, of course, the Fighting Hellfish won the belts earlier in the night, but who was going to walk away the #1 contender? There was a battle royal where, well, anyone who wanted to join in could join in, and it came down to just two men, Richter and Ferguson Block. Ferguson Block was thrown over the top by Richter, however, he held on. His feet did not touch the floor. Richter thought he won it. Ferguson Block snuck back in, threw the big man over the top, and Ferguson Block is now the #1 contender for the EPW Tag Team titles. Who's his partner? I don't know. But right now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about EPW's first ever ladder match. It was Jimmy Payne. It was Bobby Marshall. There was the belt hanging right there. Only one man could be victorious. These men held nothing back. This was one of the most brutal matches I've ever witnessed. The first ever EPW ladder match, and I dare say it could be the last, because who the hell would want to do another one after seeing what these two men did to each other? They beat each other senseless. Bobby Marshall had the belt in his grasp. He placed the ladder on Jimmy Payne's chest. He climbed to the top. He was just about to take the belt when Jimmy Payne pushed from somewhere, found the strength to turn the ladder to throw Bobby to the outside. And Jimmy Payne then climbed rung by rung and took the belt. Who can defeat Jimmy Payne? Possibly the greatest champion in the history of Australian wrestling. Let's just say the new #1 contender, Shane Hayes, would like to have a shot, but can he be beaten? I don't know. You're going to have to come along and find out. Hell or high water, it's happening soon. You should be there. If not, well, you're an idiot. That's right, you, the person watching this, is a damn fool. My name's Lukey, reporting for EPWPerth.com. I'll see you at the EPW show.